Hello friends, in previous video lecture we covered DUIS Rule 1. Now in this new video lecture, that is 5th B, we will cover DUIS Rule 2. So we can say Rule 1 is the specific case of Rule 2. You will understand this after finishing this video lecture. So before starting this video lecture, I want to request you all that please subscribe our YouTube channel if you have not subscribed till now. So please subscribe our YouTube channel Mathsmania PCCOE. Okay, so let's start with next lecture, that is DUIS Rule 2. So let's start with DUIS Rule 2. So rule 2 is applicable if your integral is given of this type, that is I of alpha is equal to a alpha to b alpha integration of f of x alpha dx. So here what is the difference between the integral, which integral we have used for rule 1 and here we are using it for rule 2. So the integral was same, only the difference is that here a and b are not constant, limits are not constant. So lower limit and upper limit may be the function of alpha. Okay, so here if a and b both are or one of that is a function of alpha, then instead of rule 1 we will apply rule 2. So once again I repeat, in the previous rule 1 integral we have a and b are constant, but here a and b both or maybe one of that is a function of alpha, then instead of rule 1 we have to apply rule 2. Okay, so here a b are not constant, both are or one of that are the function of alpha, where alpha is the parameter. Okay, so for this type of problem how we can solve? So we have to apply rule 2. So rule 2 we will apply, and another form of Leibniz rule we will get here, that is by this. Okay, so I'll just elaborate all the things here. In this integral we are getting alpha uh, uh, in three places. First we are getting f of x alpha, where alpha is the parameter. Second we are getting a of alpha, that is alpha as a lower limit, where upper limit b is also the function of alpha, so we are getting alpha on in the upper limit. Okay, so when we want to differentiate this type of integral with respect to the parameter alpha, so d by d alpha of a alpha to b alpha integration of f of x alpha dx, then we will get three terms. The first term we will get due to f of x alpha, second term we will get due to the upper limit, and third we will get due to the lower limit. Okay, and you know upper limit is always with plus sign and lower limit is always with minus sign, that's why we got here minus sign. Okay, so one by one I will elaborate how we will get three terms and how we have to apply rule 2. Okay, so d by d alpha we have to find out for this integration. So d by d alpha goes inside the integral and convert into del by del alpha. Okay, so del by del alpha of f of x alpha dx, and integration limit is a alpha to b alpha as it is. Okay, so if a and b are constant, then only you have to write down this much, because a and b both are constant, then you will not get the second and third term. But if a and b are not constant, they are the function of alpha, then you will get these with this two other terms also. Okay, so now f of x alpha is your function. Okay, so here variable of integration is x, so instead of this x you have to put upper limit. Okay, so you will get f of b of alpha comma alpha. So here we put instead of x upper limit, that is b of alpha, and here you with this you have to differentiate the upper limit, that is db by d alpha. Okay, so how we wrote this second term? So instead of x you have to put the upper limit, that is b of alpha, and with this you have to differentiate upper limit with respect to alpha. Okay, minus, because lower limit always comes after minus sign, so here it is minus. Now instead of x you have to put lower limit, that is a of alpha, and with this you have to differentiate lower limit with respect to alpha. So put in place of x lower limit and then lower limit differentiation. Okay. So here if lower and upper limits are constant, so obviously dA by d alpha will be 0 and dB by d alpha will be 0. Okay, so because of that you won't get the second and third term, you will get only the first term, and which is your rule 1. So rule 1 is nothing different from rule 2, but obviously it is a simplification of the rule 2. So let's start with first example. So question is, if f of x is equal to a to x integration of x minus t whole square into g of t dt, then show that d cube f by dx cube minus twice of gx equal to 0. Okay, so you have given this integration. So first we will let f of x is equal to integral a to x x minus t whole square g of t dt. Okay, so before starting, first we have to identify which one is our variable of integration. Second, we have to identify parameter, and third, we have to find out constant. Okay, so whenever you have given any integration, so first you need to identify these three thing. So we are integrating it with respect to t, so our variable of integration is t. Okay, now here on the right hand side it is a function of x, so x is our parameter. Okay, and a is our constant. Okay, so now x, which is our parameter, is in the function, and second x is also in as a upper limit. Okay, so here upper limit and lower limit both are not constant. Lower limit is constant but upper limit is not constant. Okay, it is a parameter. So when we want to differentiate f with respect to parameter x, then we need to apply DUIS rule 2. Okay, so it is clear. I'll just repeat once again the same statement. Okay, so whenever you have given any problem, so you have to identify variable of integration, parameter, and constant. So here we are having this integral and we are integrating it with respect to t, so t is our variable of integration. Okay, on the left hand side f is a function of x. Okay, so f is a function of x, then x is our parameter, and other than that x and t we have t. A is our constant, so a is constant, x is parameter, and t is variable. Okay, now this x parameters appears in the function and in the upper limit. Okay, so limits are not constant, limits are the function of parameter x, so we will apply here DUIS rule 2. Okay, so here we will differentiate this using this rule 2 with respect to x. Okay, so with respect to x we will differentiate, so we will find out df by dx. Okay, so df by dx we will get as first d by dx will goes inside the integral and convert as del by del x, so it will be del by del x of the whole function. Okay, so we have to differentiate partially this whole function with respect to x, and the limit of this integral will be as it is a to x and whole dt. Okay, plus now here our function is x minus t whole square g of t, and where t is our variable, so you have to put instead of variable t upper limit is x, so you have to replace t with x. So it will be x minus x whole square g of x dx by dx, because the upper limit is x. Okay, minus, because of lower limit we will get the term whatever term we are getting, but the lower term is constant. Okay, and with this always you will get the limit derivative with respect to x. Okay, so a is constant, so its derivative is always constant, so that term will be automatically 0. Okay, so remember here one point, if you are getting both limits as 0, so you will get only rule 1, so you will get only the first term. If you will get upper limit only as a function of parameter, then you will get the second term, and if your lower limit is constant, then you will get third term as automatically 0. You will directly write down it as 0. Okay, instead of lower limit, if upper limit is constant, so upper limit term will be directly 0. Okay, so which limit is 0, corresponding to that term will be automatically 0, no need to evaluate it. Here the lower limit is a, which is constant, so we wrote here directly the term with respect to the lower limit as 0. Okay, so again we will solve it. So we will get df by dx is equal to limit a to x. Okay, so now the derivative of x minus t whole square is 2 into x minus t g of t and dt as it is. Okay, x minus x we are getting here, so this term is also 0 and the third term was already 0. So we got here only this term, that is df by dx. Let assume it is your second equation. Okay, but if we check in the given question, so we need to find out d cube f by dx cube. So one more time we have to apply DUIS rule 2, because x is still in as a upper limit and it is on in the function also. Okay, so one more time we will apply DUIS rule 2. So we will get d2f by dx square. So d2f by dx square, it is d by dx of a to x 2 into x minus t g of t dt. So by DUIS rule 2, we will get d2f by dx square is equal to limit a to x. This d by dx will goes inside the integral and convert as del by del x of the whole function, that is 2 into g x minus t into g of t whole dt plus 2 into x, and in place of t you have to put upper limit, that is x into g of t. T ke place pe here you have to put again x and the upper limit derivative with respect to x, so it is dx by dx. Lower limit was is a, so corresponding to that the whole term will be 0. Okay, so we will simplify and rewrite it. So you will get d2f by dx square is equal to a to x. Here the derivative of x minus t with respect to x is 1. So it is 2 of g of t into dt. Here we got x minus x. So again this term is 0 and the third term is 0. Okay, so we got here d2f by dx square, but we need to find out d cube f by dx cube. So one more time we will apply this rule 2. Okay, so you will ask me that we are getting parameter only as a limit, we are not getting it in a function. No problem, if you are not getting your parameter in the function, you are getting only as a limit, then also you have to apply DUS rule 2. Okay, so again one more time we will apply DUIS rule 2. So we will get d cube f by dx cube. So now again d by dx will goes inside the integral and convert as del by del x. Now our function is 2 into g of t. Now in place of t you have to put upper limit, then it is 2g of x and the upper limit derivative is dx by dx minus, because of lower limit which is constant, the total term is 0. Okay, we will simplify. So now del by del x of 2 of g of t, x is not there in the function, so the derivative is directly 0 and dx by dx is 1. So what we will get, d cube f by dx cube is equal to 2 into g of x. So we will get d cube f by dx cube minus 2g of x equal to 0, which we have to prove. So hence proof it is. Okay, so in that way we have to apply this rule 2. Let's take one more example to discover is we have to solve it like if f y is equal to 0 to x integral of f of t sine of a into x minus t dt, then show that d2y by dx square plus a square y equal to a into f of x. Okay, so again first we will consider the function y is equal to 0 to x f of t sine a into x minus t dt. Okay, so again we will start with identification of variable, parameter and constant. Okay, so this integral is given and we are integrating it with respect to t, so t is our variable of integration. Okay, now on the left hand side it is given only as y, so we are not able to understand why we are assuming as a function of x or a, but in the question we need to differentiate d2y by dx square, means we need to differentiate y with respect to x. That means we are considering y as a function of x, so x will be our parameter. So x is our parameter and x is appearing here as a function and upper limit. Okay, so x is our parameter. Now other than x and t we are having here a, so a is our constant. So now we have decided t is our variable, x is our parameter and a is constant. Okay, so now we need to find out dy by dx, so we will differentiate y with respect to x and x are as a limit also, so we will apply duis rule 2. So just differentiate it using duis rule 2, then you will get dy by dx is equal to, so by rule 2 this d by dx will goes inside the integral and convert as del by del x. So you are getting integral 0 to x del by del x of the whole function, that is f of t sine of a into x minus t whole dt, plus here in place of t we have to put upper limit. Upper limit is x, so we have to put in place of t, that is f of x. So here we are getting f of x into sine of a into x minus x, because t hai, so in place of t we have to put x, and then upper limit derivative with respect to x, so we will get here dx by dx. Okay, minus because of lower limit, and but lower limit is here 0 which is constant, so with respect to this constant lower limit we will get the third term is directly 0. Now simplify it, so we will get dy by dx is equal to integral 0 to x. Okay, so now if we differentiate, so with respect to x, so ft will be as it is, sine derivative is cos a into x minus t and a into x minus t derivative is a, so we will get here a into ft cos a of x minus t whole dt. Okay, okay, so now here the second term, because we are getting here in the second term sine a into x minus a, so it will be sine 0 and sine 0 is 0, so this whole term will be 0 and the third term is already 0, so we will get only dy by dx is this integral. So assume it is your second equation, but in the equation proving we have to prove in the question we have to prove d2y by dx square plus a square y is equal to a into f of x. That means one more time we have to differentiate y, because we need here d2y by dx square. So one more time we have to apply duis rule 2. So we will find out d2y by dx square. So d2y by dx square is equal to d by dx of integration. Okay, so we will apply with that d by dx will goes inside the integral, then it is 0 to x del by del x of this whole function, that is a into f of t into cos of a into x minus t whole dt plus a. Now you have to put in this whole function in place of t x, so you will get f of x, in place of t we put x into cos of a x minus x, again we put t in place of t x, and the dx by dt, that is upper limit derivative with respect to x. Now again the lower limit is constant, so with respect to the whole term will be 0. Now again simplify it. So you will get d2y by dx square is equal to, now if we differentiate del by del x of this function, so a f t as it is, cos of a x minus t derivative is minus sine of a minus a into x minus t, and a into x minus t derivative is one more a. That's why we are getting here a square whole dt plus here a into fx as it is, cos of 0 is 1, so it is 1, and dx by dx is 1, so we will get here the second term as a fx. Okay, now if we take this a square outside of the integral, then the remaining integral is given as y. So y we already as given as 0 to x ft sine of a x minus t dt. So we will replace it again with y. So we will get d2y by dx square is equal to minus a square y plus a fx. We will take this term on the left hand side, a square y term. So d2y by dx square plus a square y is equal to a fx, which we have to prove. So hence proved. So I hope you understood this rule 2 and you understood the difference between rule 1 and rule 2. So basically rule 1 is nothing different. It is only the specific case of rule 2. Thank you.